Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend some time with us today. We'll see what we get into this evening. But I want to show y'all what I'm fixing for supper tonight. I've got a chunk of pork tenderloin here. And we're going to cook that in the smoker. This is something I hadn't tried before. I wanted to do something a little different, change it up a little bit. You know, when you grow your own food, we grow all of our own meat here. I try to alternate beef, pork, chicken, beef, pork, chicken. And we've always pre-sliced our tenderloins and had it fried or just seared in a pan. And this year I wanted to do something a little different. So we're going to see how this turns out. And I'm going to show y'all what I'm doing here. So the first thing I'm actually going to do, all pork tenderloins have a little fat cap on top of them. We trimmed this one up pretty good. So it's not too terribly thick. You can see that fat layer there. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a diagonal kind of diamond pattern in this, like you see on the hams and things that you buy. That's just going to help our seasoning and smoke kind of get down in there and help that render a little more while it's smoking. We're not going down too terribly deep, but we do want kind of a diagonal pattern across there. So we go in that way. So see what that looks like? I went a little deep on some of them spots, but it'll be fine. We're not going to get too worked up about that. I want to pat this dry. We're going to put some oil on it and some seasonings. I'm going to pour some olive oil over it. And just kind of rub that in all over it. And y'all, I know I called this a tenderloin. I have been corrected more than one time on the past videos. I realize this is called, I think, a pork loin. But regional terms here, we all call things different things. Here, to us, this is a tenderloin. Alright. The big part of the back strap of the pig. The seasoning I'm going to be using today is called Slap Ya Mama. This stuff is fabulous, y'all. Fabulous. I had a viewer send this to us, and I have thoroughly enjoyed cooking with it. I want to get down in my little nooks that I cut there. Flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. And this is ready for the smoker. Put it straight on the grates. And we're going to let that smoke till we're about 145, 150 in the middle. And that's going to be just plumb fabulous, I believe.
It's easy putting one in there if having a fire. Because you can just lay it in there.
Uh-huh. That's where the diesel fuel was pulled. Me and Jacob's up here at my daddy's shop. We're gonna be inside working on a trailer. And y'all, I'm just gonna tell you, it's cold, it's windy out here, and it ain't no fun to be outside. It's one of those days when you look out the window, you're like, oh, it's a beautiful day. But when you go out there, yeah, your mind gets changed real quick. So what we are working on here is this is a 25-foot gooseneck trailer, dual tire trailer. I do not have the tires and wheels on it right now. We're getting new tires put on it. This trailer, I actually just bought it, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I got it from a good friend of mine who had it and didn't use it anymore. Been sitting in the edge of his woods. I think he told me about 7 or 8 years. And he gave me a killer deal on this trailer. I wasn't exactly looking for a trailer this big, but I did want to get another trailer that was bigger than the one I already have, because where we're cutting more hay and stuff, and I just needed something bigger to haul everything on. Well, like I said, I wasn't exactly looking for a trailer this big, but this is kind of what fell in my lap. And in this sense, bigger is not really going to hurt anything. So I am having to put a little bit of work into it. We're redoing the lights on it. We're getting new tires, which was a pretty expensive investment to the trailer. But once again, I got such a good deal on it that I was able to spend some money on it and not come out to the bad. I'll still come out to the good when it's all said and done. We got a pretty good floor in it. I pressure washed everything. It was black, covered in mildew. It was pretty nasty looking, but I pressure washed it and it cleaned up real good. Right there is what the whole trailer looked like before I cleaned it. But we've only got one bad spot in the floor right here. I think the guy told me that they had a set of forks on here or something and they dropped it and it went through the floor. But anyways, we are replacing the lights right now. We're putting in LED lights around the whole trailer. We've got 3 on this side. There's 3 on the other side over there. We got 4 across the back and then 3 little marker lights in the middle back there. And then I've got to redo my plug and stuff that hooks up to your truck. We were using the battery charger last night just to test out some stuff and throw power to everything, make sure it was going to work. Last night, me and Jacob done the rest of them. Yeah, we've got to replace those 2. And right here's our new LED lights that's going in. Now, the lights was actually my choice. I did not have to put lights in this trailer. After we got to fooling with it last night, we found out that all the old lights actually still worked. But these LED lights are so much brighter that that's what I'm going to go with. I mean, it wasn't that expensive of a deal to do, so we just decided to upgrade, go all LEDs on this thing, and it'll be much brighter. People will actually see the lights when they're behind you instead of just little old dim lights that you can barely see. So it'll be a lot safer with the LEDs in it too. But I reckon we best pull out some more lights and put the new ones in, hadn't we? Mm-hmm. See if we can't get the wiring done on this thing today. These old lights have been in here so long that the rubbers around them are really hard and kind of hard to get out of there. Come on out of there. There we go. Man, them rubbers is hard. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. So these are nice, these style lights, because there's no screws or anything like that. Just got this rubber garment that goes around the outside, and it pops in place. And then your light slides inside of this rubber garment. And once the light goes in, it sort of wedges everything down tight, and it ain't going nowhere after that. Jacob, while I'm popping these two in, if you want to go get up all the old lights
Okay.
and put them in a pile somewhere. So that's popped in place there. And on the back side, all it takes to plug it up is that. You just slide that plug into the back of the light. We'll get this other one popped in and we'll get under there and hook them up. There. Okay. So we just hooked up the battery charger, and you can see what those LEDs look like. Them things are bright, man. They look good. Much brighter than what was originally on here. There's the ones we done last night down this side. Got that little marker light right up there. Very nice. You can see how much brighter that right there is going to be if you get somebody behind you and you have to mash on the brakes. They actually can see those.
Them are old.
And that's the old one there. And they're not near as bright. And this front one's not working, which we'll fix that here shortly. So Jacob, bring me that heat gun, another light, and another connector. I need the yellow, the orange colored light. And
I want what color?
the orange color.
Oh.
And get that heat gun, the crimps, and bring that box of connectors over here.
What happened to the old one?
We're going to just put a new one on it because those wires right there is really short. We'll just put this on there to give me a little extra length.
Oh, I see.
So Jacob, since you a little man, you get over here and I'm going to let you fix this one once I get this light up.
Okay.
My goodness.
Oh, that was frozen.
Now, this trailer was painted before, and I think the paint has made everything stick. There we go. When you got a red and a black, the black is the ground, the red is the hot wire. When you've got a white and a black,
The black is the ground, and then the black and the white is the ground, and then the black's the hot wire.
yeah, it's backwards. The black is your hot wire. It ain't always like that, but most of the time it is.
So what's the ground and the hot wire for?
So when you're running power, you got to have a complete circuit. The power comes from the hot wire, and
it
it'll
goes
return back to the ground wire. Right there, mash it. All the way. Can you do it?
I got it.
Got it. All right, so we need to hook the red to the black. Crimp that. Or you want me to do it where it's up under here?
Where? On the red?
Yeah, let me get it situated. Now crimp it. All right, crimp it. Action. All right, so we'll take the heat gun and draw it up. Move it back and forth on it, like that right there. See it starting to shrink?
That just makes my hand tired to hold it.
You want me to hit it?
Okay.
Yeah, it don't really melt it, it just makes it,
It's like a vacuum seal.
yeah, somewhat. Makes it waterproof.
Especially since these were in the packet, they ain't froze.
Boy, that one's loose.
I plug it in since I'm already under here. So which side's the hot one, or does it matter? Does it matter which side's hot and which side's what?
Yeah, but if it don't work, then we'll just reverse it.
Okay.
You go. Get it? Yep.
Okay.
Go turn it on. Let's make sure it works. Yep. We got light.
Me and Maggie's come out here to feed everything. And y'all look here behind us. There's all that white stuff laying back there. What is all that white stuff, sis?
Snow!
That's right. We got us about 4 inches of snow the other day.
What snow?
A lot of it's gone away now, but it sure was pretty.
But it was snow, but now it's ice.
Yeah, and it turned into ice. And by the time y'all see this, we're liable to have had another one. You know what they say? When it lays around like this right here, I always heard it's a laying around waiting on another one. So we're going to see, I guess.
Don't run these brushes and brush you.
You going to brush Candy? Don't get close to her back legs.
I ain't.
You sure do a good job of taking care of your animals, ma'am.
Yeah, I got maybe 2 things. I'm gonna use this other brush.
You gonna like that one?
Yeah, this one ain't giving me that.
You
I
just
think Tiger's got a hold of this one before.
I think so. You just watch her now.
I ain't. Does it feel good?
Candy's a big old baby, ain't she?
Yeah. There's a backbone, right?
I think she likes it.
Yeah, I got merged in a wire, bro. Right?
Well, it took us a few minutes, but we've got all the lights working on this trailer now. All the way around. All brand new LEDs. So I'm just testing these. I've got the hot wire hooked to the positive on the battery charger, and the ground wire hooked to the negative on the battery charger. And that's the wire for the running lights, the parking lights. We've done a test on all of those to make sure they work. So now all I've got to do is to hook the plug in up to it so I can hook it to the truck. You see this whole setup here. Right there's the plug that'll plug into the truck. Then I've got this junction box that I'm going to mount on the tongue of the trailer. and I'll have to put ends on them wires that I just showed you, and I'll hook them up to the correct wire here. Then I'll be done with my wiring. I'll have everything fixed as far as wiring goes. I don't know how well the brakes perform yet. We know they work because we tested those as well with the battery charger, but I don't know how well they work. So I may have to eventually actually do some working on the brakes. But if I can get this box mounted, I think we've got time that I can go pick up my tires this evening as long as the guys got them done and get those mounted. So I'm gonna hurry up and see if I can get this box mounted, and maybe we'll go take a trip and get the tires.
Okay.
Oh, that wasn't too bad.
Are you gonna have to drill some holes?
Yeah.
Where'd that other one go? Shit.
I just want to snug it. You don't want to bust that plastic.
Oh wait, I didn't. You pushed it further. I gotta.
We've got the box mounted. Of course, I'll trim the exits off, but that'll go in through that opening, and each wire will hook to where it needs to go. And then I've got a plastic plate that goes over top of that, and everything will be sealed up and weather tight. But Jacob, I believe I'll call and make sure that them tires are done. We might run on over there so we can get there before he closes, and then we can finish this up when we get back.
Like right now?
Yeah, like right now. Hey, can you get up there and roll them back to me?
That almost rolled off.
Don't let one roll off, it'll be bouncing like a basketball.
Yeah. There you go.
Need any more wood in the stove? You go get us a little bit. Well, there they are. Them is some heavy duty tires right there. 14 ply. This trailer takes 235, 85, 16s. And these tires are regroovable, which means once they slick, you can actually cut more tread into them. But I'm gonna say probably no more than I'm probably gonna pull this trailer. These tires will probably last me a very, very long time. So that's the reason I went ahead and bought new tires. I was like, I'll just go ahead and bite the bullet now, spend the money on it. I don't think I'm going to put them on yet, though, because I still want to check my hubs and all that, and I just ain't had time to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to the wiring on this.
My little chunk of tenderloin is done. I actually got it a little bit doner than I meant to. This thing looks fabulous. Oh, that's going to be so good. So now I'm gonna cover this in some tin foil and we're gonna let that rest till we're ready to eat.
So right now the lights are powering off the truck. Jacob's out there right now getting ready to turn them off. I've got the cord run outside to my truck. It's just right outside that door there. And now what he's doing is turning on the driver's side signal light, and I'm gonna take my test light and see which one of these terminals is the signal light. All right, so I'll hook my test light back up to my ground. And I bet it's not that one. Right there it is, the red one. I wonder what, that must be the auxiliary wire. That wire's got power on it all the time. That's not one we're gonna use on this trailer.
What's auxiliary?
Like if you've got an enclosed trailer or a horse trailer or something that's got lights
On the inside?
on the inside.
So that, like, you would need that if this was like Papa's horse trailer.
Yeah, if this was our livestock trailer, that wire would run the lights on the inside of the. So I'm not sure which one of these is the left turn signal here. So let's stick that one to it. All right, that's backwards. That's the right turn signal. So let's try the other one. There we go. But one thing I like about this junction box is it's gonna make easy serviceability of this right here. And if I ever, which I don't know why I ever would, but if I ever had to switch my wires around because it wasn't wired up right, it makes that easy to do too. Now the reason I'm having to check what wire does what is because now this junction box, the instructions it came with tell what color wire is supposed to do what. But the thing is, I don't know if it's my truck, the way my truck's wired up, plus this trailer, the color coding doesn't line up with what it says it is. So I'm just having to check each individual wire to make sure we've got it right. And I think this trailer was built before there was an actual standard on what color wire does what on your trailer wiring. All right, so that's the other turn signal. So I'm pretty sure this green wire is what's going to go to that. Yep, that light's blinking. So we'll put us a connector on this one and be ready to roll with it. Right, this trailer, the wooden part, is the same length as the total length of my other trailer. But it's got 5 extra feet back here at the back. That signal light back there blinking, Jacob?
Yeah.
Good deal. Oh yeah. Hey, so now that we've got both signal lights hooked up, go out there and cut the signal light off and mash the brake pedal, and both of these brake lights should light up. All right, let's see if the brakes light up. There we are. Brake lights work, signal lights work, and running lights work. Awesome. Now I just got to hook my brake wire up, and I think that's all I've got left.
So what are we going to do after we get done doing this?
I guess we'll go back home because it's almost supper time.
Already?
Yeah. All right, and I know you may catch that the red wire's not hooked to anything, but the red wire actually does nothing on this trailer. It's not hooked to anything at all. I think it's just an extra wire that was in the wiring harness that didn't need to be used on this trailer. All right, now all we gotta do is put the lid on.
I don't need the last rubber garment that I have.
No, it goes in this hole where I run the wire through, so I don't need it. That is all nice and sealed up. Looks good. So I really like how, I don't know, almost say professional that right there looks. That's nice. That looks like it's supposed to be on there. So I'm pretty happy so far with how this turned out, but I think this is probably all I'm gonna get to do to it today. It's supper time, so we're gonna go home and eat something, and then we've got to come back down here and get the slicer and everything out and slice our last round of bacon this evening. We just happened to think we better unplug my trailer before I take off with it. That would have been bad, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. I don't know, it might have actually slid out without ripping off any wires, but the chances of that happening is probably slim to none. All right, let's go eat some supper.
So we got the tenderloin, some green peas, and some leftover potatoes.
It sure does smell good.
Leftover biscuits. Let's see what this thing.
Look at your fancy.
Let's see the flavor will get down in it.
Oh, is that what that does?
Through that fat layer.
Oh, that's into the fat layer.
Yeah.
I see that now. Look at that. Ain't that pretty?
Well, that's good. It smells good.
Yes, it does. Look at that. That's a pretty piece of meat right there. Mm-hmm. Look at the juice in it. Look at that.
Good.
See that?
Yeah. That's the only thing I was worried about, with it drying out.
Them green peas, I can't wait to eat some of them.
Yeah, some of ours. It's the first can I've cracked open because I was waiting on mine out in the garden.
Well, we ain't had a green pea since springtime, early spring. Go ahead, that'd be your plate.
Okay.
Maggie's plate over here.
Yeah. Well, that right there is one more fine looking supper. So we're gonna sit down and eat us a bite, and we got one more task to do this evening before we call it a day.
Gotta go slice some bacon.
Yep.
That tenderloin cooked that way was on point.
It was a new family favorite amongst all four of us.
Yeah, everybody loved it. Maggie, Jacob,
Everybody.
Mama, and me.
It was delicious.
So, yeah, like I've never cooked it that way. I didn't know exactly how it would be, but it was, oh my gosh.
That was one of the best things I've ever ate.
I highly suggest if you can get you a chunk of pork tenderloin like that and cook it that way, man.
Well, let's go slice some more bacon.
All right.
And this is it.
This is it.
Finally. Y'all, I'm so tired of working pork.
Even though we just eat some.
Yeah, even though we just eat some of it.
All right.
Hold up, please. Let's see. It turned out pretty good. So on our last bacon video, people asked, well, we had numerous questions about where our meat slicer came from. And it's honestly something we've had for a long time. It's a Burkle. It's a Burkle. Now, Burkle and Hobart both, they make commercial grade slicers and meat saws and stuff like that. Hobart's a little bit, is a lot more on the expensive side though. Y'all, just keep your eye out on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, now there is several like Chinese companies and stuff that make these kind of slicers, and they're kind of like carbon copies of this. I don't know how well they hold up. I know some people who have them that's just got them, and they've been really pleased with them so far. But, you know, this one was actually bought from a local restaurant that went out of business here. And
it was tore up or something, right? Your daddy had to
I think he did. I think there was a little something wrong with it when he first bought it. But, you know, he bought it cheap. But I look on Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that all the time. And you can find these commercial grade slicers sometimes for some reasonable prices.
Well, it's just like our meat saw, since we're talking about that. The meat saw that you see us use, them things are very, very, very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
That thing somebody wanted to get rid of. It was old, sitting in the back of a tobacco barn, and Andy's daddy actually fixed it.
Yeah, that thing had been sitting for at least 40 years.
Yeah.
They figured up it'd been that long since that guy had pigs.
So that's not something, I mean, it's wonderful that we have access to all this stuff, but don't think that we're rich because we have access to all this stuff. This just happens to be lucky finds that we've come across through the years.
You keep your eye out for that kind of stuff, and eventually you'll come across it. You got to be patient. Yeah. That's the key, is being patient. But yeah, like that meat saw, like I said, it sat in a barn for 40 years. It looked terrible when Daddy got it. Yeah. And I said, there's no way y'all will ever have that saw running again. And now you couldn't even tell that it was that saw. Like, it looks so good. They done such a good job on that saw.
Look at that. That's the kind of pieces we like to see.
Meagan, she's the best bacon stacker there ever was. Well, guys, we've got a ton more bacon to slice. We got to slice mine and
your
daddy's.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot to do. But anyways, I guess that's probably where we're going to be at the rest of the night.
But anyways, guys, hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Hope you might have learned a little something. Until we see y'all in the next one. And y'all stay warm out there. From my understanding, I believe it's cold everywhere.
Yeah, I know one thing. It is cold here. The ground hasn't hardly thawed out all day long.
Which, I'm not complaining, because I'd rather be frozen than mud. So.
Yeah, when it thaws out. Oh, it's definitely mud season right now.
Y'all should see it right at my back door.
It's awful. It really is. But anyways.
Till we see y'all in the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.